10 seconds.
What's going on, everybody? We're back here, the view from the dead box. We got a couple things we're gonna go over today, kind of a little bit different than we normally do.
Yeah, I think
We
it'll
kind
be
of
different.
just wing it as we normally do, but I think we're gonna kind of get into some stories and maybe some back in my day, Frankfurt's
my
Rolling
day.
Nickel.
I think so. That might be the name of the episode. Back in my day.
Yeah.
Because
Hmm.
you've played paintball longer than I have, but I've been around it over half my life. But still,
Yep.
it's changed a lot.
Oh yeah. Oh
But
yeah. Some things never change.
yeah, some things don't ever change. But well, and that's a good little segue into this. So,
Hashtag
because
2020 committed.
2020 committed, but as you were saying, some things don't ever change. So. We've obviously been to a lot of tournaments in our life. I mean,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
if you combine them together, we're probably over 100 easily.
How much money do you think we've wasted on tournaments?
Oh my god, I don't even want to think about it. And then you say that, and then I go in two first places.
Yeah, right.
D4 for life, baby.
Yeah.
But I mean, we've gotten to a lot of shenanigans together and not together. Some of
Yeah.
these, but so what I was thinking tonight, maybe we each tell one or two stories about. I mean, they could be any time frame. Don't have to be together. Maybe you were there. Maybe we were separate. I don't know. It just depends because, like I said, we've played a lot of tournaments together and a lot not together. So that's what I was thinking. I mean, I can get into mine first, or you can get into yours first. However you want to do it. Completely up to you.
We just take turns. You do
Okay.
one, and then I'll go one.
Okay. So I'll start off with the first one. This is probably one of the most fun that I've had. Like not playing at a tournament. Like the tournament itself, I honestly couldn't tell you anything about it. Probably came dead last at a GFOA playing with just a bunch of friends who hadn't played in months. So
Yeah.
that was whatever. But
So the normal.
it's pretty normal. Yeah. I mean, so again, this probably happened 2010, 2011. So I think you were gone at this point in time. You were in Texas or something. But
Yeah.
we were driving back from tournament. And we got two teams. We have our Division 4 team, which is us, and we had our Division 5 team, so Georgia Extreme Project X. We're driving, and our car, which included your brother, decided it would be a great idea to roll the windows down and take paintballs and stick them in the barrel like spitballs, and we're going to spitball the Division 5 guys. So it reminds me of like battleships, like you see in a movie where they pull up next to each other and like drop the, I don't know what they're called, but shoot the cannons out the side, and they're
Yeah.
like, that's what this turned into. So we're driving down I-16, and it's like our car shooting at their car. Like obviously we started the engagement. They're shooting back. It's all fun, all fun. And one of our teammates, I won't say his last name, I'll say his first name, but Reed. I think we've brought him up before. He's in the
Yeah.
car with me. It's Nick, your brother Joey, me, and Reed. And we're in like the left lane on the highway, and they're in the right lane, and it's only a 2-lane highway, so we're on I-16. And Reed is trying to shoot across the car, like across me, and he is shooting the inside of Nick's SUV. So it's like it was all fucked after this. There was so much paint. He had hit it probably 12 times. Just all these paintballs are breaking, like right where the oh shit handle would be. But so it's like, and I'm like looking at him like Reed. He goes, "Sorry, like bumpy road, we're hitting shit." And I'm like, "No, you just suck. Like you can't somehow you can't get a paintball out of this fucking window that's 3 feet in front of you." And so like I said, I mean, this went on probably 20 minutes maybe. And obviously someone's going to escalate something. Well, the other car had a great idea, and we don't know what they're doing at the time. We just see them speed up, and they gun it and get in front of us. And we're like, well, that's weird. Well, one of the dudes leans out the window with a full bag of paint and just like shakes it like it's a fucking towel, and all the paintballs come out. So Nick, driving probably well over the speed limit, decided it was better to just run right through him and the whole front of his car. Because paintballs obviously break, but a lot of them bounced off the fucking concrete, like, because they weren't really falling high, and they're just falling straight down, so the speed
Yeah.
really wasn't a factor with it. They were just falling straight down, so they're bouncing off the concrete, and we just plow through them. So he was not slightly pissed because it was all up in his car. So he told your brother, who was in the front seat, hey, I got a big thing of dip spit. He goes, we're going to throw that into the other car. And obviously being a bunch of, I mean, we're with our friends, so we're going to fuck with each other. Everyone in our car is like, yes, brilliant idea. Best idea in the world, which hindsight, it's a real dick move. I wouldn't recommend doing this. And I'm like, I mean, I wouldn't want someone to do it to me, but then 17-year-old Michael thought this was awesome. 27-year-old Michael does not think this is awesome. Well, a little bit. But
kind of still, yeah.
Kind of still. It's still pretty good because it wasn't my car. But so he pulls up, and your brother's holding it like below the door jamb, so like where the window is, so they can't see it. So they pull up next to us, and we're like talking, and all of a sudden he just throws the full thing of dip spit from one car to another on the interstate, and it goes and it hits their window and topples in and spills. You know that this guy all over Brian Benson, all over him into the car, and he like they backed off, and so we don't know what's going on in that car, and we're giggling like a bunch of kids. We are loving it, and then you also, I'm not saying anything in this story you shouldn't do, but it was fun. But do it safely if you're going to do any of this.
Not intended for highway use.
Yes, not intended for highway use at all. Well, the next thing I know is I look like, I don't know if I looked through the side mirror or what exactly it was, or if I turned around and saw they have one of our teammates now, Shane, is leaning out their window with a paintball gun. He has a G6R and he is holding it out the window and he is shooting the back of the car we're in as we're just flying down the interstate. And I've been shot a lot in paintball and been hitting the mask. I've never heard a paintball make the noise it made on the back of a car window with it was the craziest noise. I can't even explain it. You would have to legitimately just go sit in a car, let someone shoot the window to understand the noise that I heard. It was insane. It's the same thing. We ended up speeding off because after that it kind of ended. Everyone was like, "Oh, that's no fun and games. You can't break out the guns and shoot everybody's cars." But it was that was probably the most fun. Not like I said, you probably shouldn't go do this. I don't recommend doing this. But if you did, you might enjoy yourself. It makes a great story. It's one that our paintball story. I'm sure I've told Wes this one before. I added a little more detail, so he's heard it. But it's one that is told with our circle of friends quite a bunch, and there's a couple different views of it because everyone. We have the other car too. Like I said, I don't really know what was happening. And there, other than when we threw the dip spit in, he was told, pull out your gun and shoot their car. And he immediately was he was on it, whipped out a full setup. And he probably shot it half a hopper. It was a good 100 shots, all into the back of Nick's car. Yeah,
I wasn't there for that. And I feel like if I was if we were in my car, I would have been fucking pissed.
Oh, yeah.
Any of my cars.
Well, we were coming back from Augusta. Payne threw a paintball out the window when you were behind us. He was like, I wonder if I can hit the new Cobra. Whoop! And I'm like, well, I don't know. You're going to find out in about 3 minutes when he calls one of us.
Yeah. I would have fucking been pissed too.
But yeah, that was like I said, probably shouldn't do it because we were doing some bad stuff. But it was a lot of fun. I mean, I don't think I would do it now, but 17-year-old me would do it every single time it was offered up.
10 out of 10 would recommend.
10 out of 10 would recommend.
I was thinking this week actually. I seen that they had that 10-man going on in the CFOA in December, first December,
the second weekend of December. Yeah.
But it sold out very quickly. It's done.
Yeah.
It sold out in the first 2 weeks, I believe.
Crazy.
Who would have thought that fast? But I was thinking, man, we had D-Day planned this year, right? We already paid, and I think we still have our entries are still paid for there. So
they're still paid for. Yeah, we'll have to figure that out next year.
Yeah. So, but man, I was thinking when's the last time we went to a fun game, like a big game, like a scenario?
Oh, dude. I don't know if I've ever played a scenario with you.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
And we've been playing together for 14 years.
Yeah, it's just crazy. But I was seeing the 10-man, and then I got thinking about the scenario events, and they have the Army versus Navy game coming up in Carolina, and I'm like, dude, I'd like to go to the. First of all, I like going there because everybody that go, I say everybody, 98% of the people that go to this thing are fucking terrible.
Yeah,
so,
and it's a fun time for
it's just great. Yeah, you get to go there and just relax and you don't have to try, and you just get to have a good time when all these dudes are trying their nuts off, and you just beat them into the dirt.
I guess the only thing that we kind of done together as a scenario is that Big Indian, the little paintball. We've done that a few times, but that's very small. I mean, I say small. I mean,
compared to like
yes,
I've D-Day twice.
Yeah.
We used to go to Trigger Time. We used to do Trigger Time. Used to in Columbia.
Yep.
I used to have a scenario event we used to go to every single year, and it was huge. I always wanted to go to what was the one in Chicago? I think it might have been Chicago.
Oh, is that Living Legends?
Yes.
I always wanted to do that one.
Never got to go to that, and now it's gone.
Yeah.
They do a different one, Dreaded Legends.
Dreaded Legends, that's in Florida somewhere.
Yeah, I don't think that's as big.
No, I've done the Generals Cup at Gator Paintball. Me, your brother, Can, and Gordon did that one. That was a very fun event. That was about 150 on 150, so it was a pretty good size. Yeah, and the field was good size for that.
Yeah, I'm looking for like 1,000 on 1,000.
Oh, I mean, that would be fucking wild.
You know, now, and everybody always says, you got to come to Folder Gap. You got to come to Folder Gap.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Everybody talks about the problem with Folder Gap is it's the exact same time Cup is. You can't really, it's almost impossible to do both.
Yeah.
Because those guys that were next to us at the CPSL are going to Folder Gap. They missed Cup because of it.
Yeah, that would be the only thing I've never missed a World Cup since 2008. So
yeah. So, but I would, man, I'm like remembering all the crazy times we've had. But probably one of the funnest times I've ever had at one of these events was Billy at LCP hosted an event, and I cannot remember if you were there. I don't think you went.
I don't think I played a scenario with you.
We had a lot of us that were there, including Ben. It was in Jacksonville at the military training base.
Oh, is this the Camp Blanding?
Yes.
Okay. It's funny. I know I've passed Camp Blanding.
Man, it was the funnest event I've ever played. I think it was close to about 1,000 on 1,000. And I legit, and this is how I know it was a great event. The paint was fucking asshole. Billy bought some dog shit paint. It was a clear shell with gray fill. He had it so when it hit the castles and the buildings, it wouldn't stain.
Oh, okay.
So what the deal is for you guys, you bums that don't know, Camp Blanding is a legit military training base.
Yeah, I believe it's a reserve base, but I could be incorrect.
Yeah, so but it's a full mock, and I believe it's a full mock of an Afghan city. So it has, like, let's just say 1 square mile and of it. And what it is every building that's in that square mile inside of that place, that's what's there in that city. So we have like 5-6 story hotels. There's canals, concrete canals that go onto the entire city. There's like 40 or 50 buildings, and they're all like multi-level, multi-room, like legit houses and buildings, hotels and gas stations. But it's crazy, man. You get like good games there. But I just remember it being such a great event because the paint was so fucking terrible. Everybody was breaking it because it was a special paint that he had to shoot that they got it rushed, and it was god awful. Everybody was breaking it. It was shooting just fucking like all over the place. But it was we played like $18 million a case, and we ended up buying like 4 cases a person. But I still had a fucking blast. That's how I know the event was great, because the paint was completely terrible, and I am a stickler for paint. Paint fucks me. If the paint is like shit, I have a terrible day. I'm mad because I miss so many shots. Like, paint's all over the place. I can go to a practice, and if the paint's ass, I would rather put my gear up and not play, because I don't get anything out of. I can't shoot cross body going field, like corner to corner. It's just tough, and I feel like if the paint's always bad, I get fucking pissed off and I have a bad day. But this event, the paint was ass, and we had a blast. It was 48 hours. No, was it? Maybe it was 24 hours. It was 24 hours. And I think we started Saturday morning. That's what it was. I think it was like 30 hours because it was weird. Like, we started Saturday morning at like 8, and we ended at like Sunday at like almost lunch.
Yeah.
But it was 24 hours. They took a 4-hour break in the middle of the night. They took a 4-hour break from like 2 to 6.
Yeah, that's how Low Country did theirs.
Yeah, so you still played till like almost 2 in the morning, and then you took a break for like 4 hours, and then got back at it for like another 4 hours, and it was done. But it was wild, man. I'm telling you, when I say I shot 1,000 people, I like legit.
That is awesome.
I had to be. I would shoot them like 30 and 40 people at a time because they're all like fucking goons. You go up in a building, and I'd be like in a third or fourth story of a hotel, and you would look down, and these dudes are like wannabe army soldiers, and they're stacked up like 10 deep on the side of a building, like all up against the. And I lean down, I'm like, I'm gonna shoot all of you on top of the head, and I just fucking start from the front to back, and you just watch them just get melted. I'm like, you people are terrible. Like, God, I can only imagine if I was like an Afghan soldier and I see people like walking up against buildings like this. I'm like,
what's up, guys?
Yeah, God. But yeah, man, I'm telling you, it was crazy. We would take out, shit, man. We'd take out all the pods I could, and you would shoot
absolutely.
All of it. I don't know what I was shooting at the time. I think Ben had an Ego. I think I might have had my Ego, or my Geo. I don't know what I had at the time, honestly.
I remember y'all telling me about this, and your dad was like, they're doing it next year, and then it was like they did it one more time, and we all couldn't go, and then it was like they quit doing it.
They canceled it, yeah. They used different paint because the paint was so fucking terrible the first time, and then they got kicked out for using like a certain type of paint. Yeah. So they ended up getting kicked out for it. But yeah, man, it was just insane. It was like you could go out and just shoot as many people as you could until you felt like you had enough. You could go out and shoot 50, 60, 70 people on one res and be like, yeah, okay, I'll go back and get a hot dog. Yeah. Then come back out and shoot like 100 more people and go, okay, I'll go back out and sit down for a minute and get a brownie and go back out and shoot another 100 people because you don't have to rush.
No.
It's every 30 minutes as a respawn. So if you die, you go back. And the best thing is if you go out there and you get murked at like 7:02, the window stays open from 7 to 7:05. So you can walk out the res gate and then walk right back in before it closes. So basically every 30 minutes, the res gate opens up and it's open for 5 minutes. So if you get shot at 7:06, you have to wait until 7:30 for it to open up. But if you get shot at 7:02, you can turn around and go right back in. So cool. It's kind of cool. But God, I would love to do a scenario event. Just kind of take off the steam. And now, granted, we have a lot of events coming up here for we potentially have CPSL, MVPS, SPL, and Cup. Right, so we have 4 events within a 2-month time frame.
Basically,
right?
Yeah. I mean, it's September. I mean, we're recording this on the 31st.
I'm assuming we'll probably miss one of those. We'll definitely do the CPSL. We'll definitely do the Cup.
Yeah, I got my days for Cup and got my date for CPSL. So.
Yeah, I would like to do MVPS over SPL.
Yeah.
They're going to be the same fucking distance. MVPS is just ran a lot better.
Yeah, I mean, it is. SPL's not bad. I mean, I'm wearing a social paintball hat, so I mean, but.
Yeah, no. It's but if I go somewhere, I don't want to go where the teams are like capped and limited.
Yeah.
You know, at MVPS, they have it down pretty well where they're running 60, 70 teams still.
Yeah, and I watched a lot of that event. It seemed like it was really well. Which, I mean, I love their live. I mean, CPSL does a pretty good live stream, too, for what it is, but it's really hard to beat that MVPS live stream. Not even because, I mean, I know Go Sports does something on their Go Sports field, but even just the normal Twitch stream that MVPS does is on point with the announcers. They do a great job.
Knowing those guys, he does. Yeah. They do really, really good work with the commentating. I think that's another thing. I think the commentating, makes the event too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because like I've went back and watched the CPSL one, just our matches, and I'm like, oh, like anyone who isn't watching this doesn't know what's going on. Exactly. Like it's really hard. Like because my parents, they were texting, "When are y'all playing?" And I'm like, this time, roughly. I was like, but you're just gonna have to recognize players, like because there isn't an announcer. They're not showing you the team names. You're not getting any of that.
Now, I was on his live stream this Saturday morning, and he says that he's bringing in, he wants one more person to go in there and commentate, an energetic, loud, like fun person, that, and then he's bringing in his own somebody else that's going to commentate the entire time. That's cool. So he's going to be bringing in 2 people to commentate, which is good. That's great.
Yeah, I think so.
Because he got reviews that the commentating was shit, which is fine. And guess what? He's going to correct it.
And he fixes it every time.
Yeah, so
no complaints at all. I mean, he really runs his events really, really well. Like
I feel bad for him because he said that he lives in Myrtle Beach. That's why it's the last event of the season. Yeah. And he said that he told his work the beginning of the season that he needed to have these days off, and he says it's a potential that he might not be there at this event. That's in his backyard, basically.
That sucks.
Yeah. So the
show I always do the same thing too. I'm like, hey, boss, I need these days. I was like, but don't hold them 100% in stone. Like, can I text you the week of just in case shit happens? Like, if the team isn't going. But yeah, we definitely need to find us a scenario. I mean that. Yeah, for sure. That reminds me of, I've done a few. My favorite scenario I think I've ever done is I have two really good ones. The Generals Cup, it was at Gator Paintball. Me, your brother Gordon, and Kanki did that one. This the only one I've ever been that had tanks, and I have footage somewhere of this dude. Like the tanks had to stay on the trails. I didn't think he saw me. I was like, oh, this motherfucker didn't see me. I'm just gonna slip behind this pallet and let the tank roll by. Well, needless to say, the motherfucker saw me, and he pulls up and he turns his gun and he looks right at me. And I was getting ready to just call myself out, but apparently I didn't do it fucking fast enough. And he blasts the living shit out of me from like 7 feet away. Like the tank was right there. Like if I stuck my leg out, my leg would have got ran over. Like we were right there. He just turns and looks at me, and I'm like standing up. And I guess he thought I was just going to walk away. Like I didn't call myself out yet, but I was going to stand up and say I'm out. He just goes, and I'm looking like, what the fuck, bro? Yeah, I'm out. Yeah, I did not want to get shit shot out of me like that. But and I got it all on camera too with my barrel cam. It's just like I look up and you just see this dude sitting. It was like an old Chevy Tracker or something. He's just like on top looking at me, and I'm like, oh cool. And then shoots shit out of me. I'm like, melted. You fucking dick. Like, yeah. But yeah, that was a good one. And then I reffed an event. Again, me, your brother Shane, and another guy Ross. We reffed like the Saturday, and then Billy at Low Country let us play for free on the Sunday. So we reffed till like 6. They took a couple hour break, and then we were allowed to play the nighttime in the morning. So while I'm reffing, I had told Shane, I was like, hey, get me like a hamburger or something. It was like 5 o'clock at night. Well, I figured he was going to get it and just like set it at the campsite. He thought I meant like bring it out to me on the field. So there's a point at Low Country where it's like the corner, and everyone just kind of gets funneled to the area. So it's like a shit show over there. So I got caught, like, and I was just like laying down, like, you know, I mean, refs are laying. I'm just kind of like looking, calling people out if I need to, whatever. Shane decides it'd be a great idea to run me this cheeseburger while I'm laying with my face in the ground. And he runs over and I feel someone tap me, and I thought maybe it was a player needing something or something. He's like, brought you your burger. And I'm like, Shane, I didn't eat my burger on the damn field. So I proceed to eat my cheeseburger while laying on my stomach, slipping it under my mask, and there's just paintballs fucking everywhere. Like 2 teams just fighting at this one corner. And I'm like, this is miserable. Eventually I was like, fuck it, get up. I'm done. I read for like 30 more minutes, and I was like, he won't know that I left. Walked off and ate my cheeseburger.
God. I've actually never played in the scenario field at Low Country. I've played
I've done it quite a bit.
Long time for all those speedball fields and everything like that forever ago. I've never played any of their scenario events. They used to have big finales. Yeah, I've done that finale.
I think it's called the free finale. You bring a toy for Christmas and just buy your own paint. That's how it was. And it was like it's like $55 case. So I never thought that was bad for an event like that. Yeah. And then you could bring like a $15, $20 toy. And same thing. I went down there. I've done it. We brought like a group of 6 or 7 of us, and I had that teal Origin Ego that like everybody at the field owned. I was terrified to get it scratched. So I was just like, I'll just run this Tippmann 98 like I borrowed from the neighbor. Actually, never gave it back to him. I still have it. And I was like, I'm going to use that instead of this. The thing wouldn't chrono above like 220, all this. And I was like, well, fuck it. I guess I'm using this Ego. But I was like the whole time in the woods because there's concrete out there. And I'm like, if I walk up to a barricade, I don't want to sit my 1 of 56 gun on this concrete barrier because I will scratch it. And I'm like watching people with like tournament guns. They're just like throwing. I'm like, oh, like I'm not a gear snob by any means. Like I play with my gear, but I'm not gonna go do that. Like
no, so
I was just like, I am avoiding that at all costs. So like we would go somewhere, and I'm like, I'm not gonna go behind that. Let me get behind wood. If I'm gonna rest my barrel on something, it's got to be wood or plastic, not concrete. But they have I say speedball field out there. They have an area that's like cordoned off, and it's like pool tarps, I guess. They're real thick, like thick vinyl, and the inside is a mirrored like hyperball field. And so we would like go out there and find like other players. And people would be like both teams would be like standing outside this door, and they would wait till there was like enough to do like a 5-on-5, and they would all go in there, and our ref would be out there. He'd walk in there, and go, all right, game at 5. We'd be running these little mini speedball fields or games while everybody else is outside of this netted off area playing the scenario. Like, we're getting no points or anything for our teams, but there was just like a crew of 20 people. Like, okay, I got more paint. You'd walk all the way to the car, which is like half a mile. Come back in, and you're like, I'm not shooting anybody. I'm just walking to the hyperball field that's hidden out here that we found. Yeah, it was fun.
God.
He had a bunch of stuff back there too.
Did he?
Yeah, he had he's a lot of like cut in half boats, and he had like 2 castles. And there's a bridge over there too, because it's super swampy out here in Georgia, and you would have to. The building was actually on the water, so you'd walk across this bridge to get to the water. That was like one base. The other base was inside a castle, and that's basically where the teams would start. And you kind of funnel. It's like a giant L, but it's massive. I mean, it's bigger. I probably haven't seen half of it, honestly. Everyone goes to the same spots, but they would. I don't know what scenario I played there. This might have been the free finale. They would do a thing where you could you'd have to find them.
Yeah.
And it would tell you like what the perk was. And there was one that was like a helicopter insertion, and what you would do is you'd get however many guys they said you had to hold this rope, and the ref would walk you to wherever your group of people wanted to be inserted. And so the enemy team, they're like, oh, we're going to go to like the base. We want to be dropped in right in their spawn. So we're sitting there, we see the ref, and he's like spinning like a chem light, like he's a helicopter. He's walking the players there, and he's like, can't shoot them. They're in a hell. Like, they couldn't shoot us. We couldn't shoot them. And so there's a group of us who are like, well, fuck it. We're just going to follow them. Like, they can't shoot us, but we're just going to follow the helicopter. So we're like walking behind them. And it was like, as soon as the ref like dropped his hands, we were allowed to shoot. So he's like sitting there, like waiting for the players to tell them. And there's probably, like I said, 8, maybe 10 of them max. And there's a group of probably 30 or 40 of us. And we've like got them in a circle. And I'm sitting there going, man, I was like, we're gonna blow the fuck out of these guys. Like, they are dead. But we're all gonna shoot each other afterwards because it's a big circle. Like, I was like, I'm gonna miss and shoot another dude. And we're close. We're like 30 feet, like together, and it's a massive amount of people here. And he did. As soon as he dropped it, they shot, probably got off 8 balls, and everyone in this group of people just, and they're like, wow, okay, well that's it. Bad idea. And he did. He took them all the way back. But we were team killing. Everything. I mean, it was a fun event too. Those are some good ones.
Cheaters.
Oh yeah, it was big cheaters.
There is no bigger event that people can cheat at than a scenario event. Shoot people right in the face, and they get down for a second, come back up, clean. Bruh.
That's the only thing about big events like that. There is a lot of cheating.
God, that pisses me off so much.
Yeah.
What I was gonna ask you, going to the other story. Your other story. Do you want to hold that, or do you want to let that rip?
I might hold that one. I mean, I told some small ones. I mean, the other story you are involved in, so I guess it's really up to you. Do you want to? Should we tell that one and do 2 perspectives in this episode? Because a lot happened that night.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you had to jog my memory a little bit. I do remember going to the hotel and us having a fucking just a terrible time at this hotel.
Yeah, I mean, and part of that is on us for fuck it, we'll just tell it. We'll tell it. I don't know how long we're probably been going about 30 minutes now, but we'll tell it, and then we'll probably wrap it up after this. But so this is again probably what 2008 or 9-ish, give or take. So we go to this crappy hotel. We're going to Dan's Land for a 5-man GFOA. So we didn't have like all your team, but we had like our team and some other guys were meeting you. So it was like it was a mix. There's probably 7 or 8 of us, maybe, give or take. So we get to this hotel, and this was back in the day when we were all very poor. It was scraping pennies to be able to go to these tournaments, let alone get hotel rooms. So we were like, okay, we're going to cram all 8 of us into this hotel room, but obviously we're only telling them we have 4 people because that's what we got to do to get in.
That's how it works.
That's how it works. So Wes, because at the time he's the parent, the adult of the group, which that's fucking scary in itself.
Big fucking jug there.
I guess him and whatever group of people he was with, because there's like 3 of them were older and the rest of us were all well underage. We were probably, 15, 16, 17?
If that.
And so they go, you're probably 20, 21.
Yeah.
So I mean, you're not super old either by any means.
Yeah.
And you were probably the oldest out of those, because I think it was you, Stan, and Nick. I think. So they go and get the hotel room, and they kind of tell us, like all kids, like, hey, go up to the hotel room, but like, just go up there, don't make a big deal. So we go up in there, and we get there, and it is hot as hell. AC is not working in this hotel room.
Nope.
So I don't know where you guys went. I'm assuming I don't know how long we were in there, I guess, before y'all left, because y'all left and you guys are basically saying we're gonna go get a new room. Like we're gonna go talk to this hotel room guy and get a new room for all of us. Yeah. And like I said, I don't know how long you were gone, but I had actually opened, this is really gross now that I'm thinking about it. I had opened the refrigerator door in this $35 a night hotel room and decided it'd be great to sleep with my head inside this fridge. I probably could have caught all sorts of nasty shit on the floor too, let alone, you know what I mean? So we're in a hooker-infested hotel, no doubt, and I got my head in the fucking fridge. So, and your brother and like Jamie and Reed and some of the other guys, they took off, like everyone's been in a hotel room, so they have the AC units on the wall. Were trying to get, because it would blow cold air, just not a lot. And they had taken like the cover off that bitch and like broke it off basically. And so we're like kind of sleeping. They had moved mattresses around, all this stuff. So you guys, like I said, I still don't know. I thought like maybe y'all were going to sleep in cars. Like, fuck it, we'll just sleep in the car. We don't care at this point. And next thing I know, the 3 of y'all come running up the stairs and is basically like, all right, fucking fix this room. Cops are coming. We're leaving. And I'm like, cops are coming? Like, what the fuck? What do you mean cops are coming? So we close everything up, and I remember leaving the hotel room, and 2 cops were there at this point. So I believe the hotel room guy called the police on y'all for like refusing to pay, and y'all called on them for refusing to get a new room. I'm assuming, like I said, I don't know exactly what happened with y'all. And I was just told by Stan, he looked at like the group of the kids, he goes, sit in my car, don't fucking talk, don't come out, don't make any noises. And we're like, oh shit, okay. So we're sitting in this like old Chevy Lumina, and we're in there for a hot minute. I don't know how long y'all talked to those police. And granted, now it's probably 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. Yes. And we have a tournament in 4 hours. Like, so I don't know exactly, but obviously the cop could see us because the windows of this car were like steaming up, because we're sitting in a car with no, like not running and just breathing. Like, and it's 5 dudes in here. And Nick said he canceled his card from what I heard, didn't pay the dude. You were like, all right, we're leaving. We drove to the paintball field, slept on
cars.
And cars.
So we went back down there to this dude. We found out the AC wasn't working because you guys told me. Yeah. So I went back down there and told this clown that I was like, another word I like to use for him, but I went down there and told this dude, I'm like, hey man, the AC's not working. And he says, it works. And I'm like, no, like 100%. The room's like 82 degrees. And we have the AC on blast, and it's barely blowing out. And he said, you broke it. And I said, no, we didn't break. Dude, we haven't even been in the room like 2 seconds. Like, nobody broke this shit, you fucking bum. So we're looking at this thing, and he's like, I'm like, just give us in the room. We'll just transfer rooms. It's not a big deal. He says that we've already checked into this room. He's not giving us another room. And I'm like, that's not how this works. I'm like, no, you'll give us another room. Like, your room isn't fucking up to standard. It's not up to code. So you need to give us another room.
You're a code enforcer now.
Yeah. His deal is he's saying that the AC worked perfectly fine. And then we're trying to transfer him for no reason. Well, there are 100 other rooms. They're all available.
Yeah, that whole hotel was empty from my knowledge.
Yeah, so I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I know what he's doing. I don't know why he just won't give us another room. Well, anyways, we're like trying to be as best as we can and like trying to solve the situation, and he's just being an asshole. So I'm like, well, fuck it. We just won't pay. And we've already paid. And no, you know what? No, sorry. We asked for a refund. Yeah. He's not refunding us. I'm like, you have to refund us, dude. He's like, no. I'm like, all right, then we'll just cancel the payment on the card. And he's like, you're stealing the room. And I'm like, no. I'm like, we're just going to leave. I don't give a fuck. He's like, I'll call the cops. And I was like, fuck you, pussy. I'll call the cops. So I'm assuming he called the cops and we called the cops. It's fucking retarded. You know,
it was dumb. Like, I mean, I can't even imagine what the conversation.
I just wanted a room with AC, and it's in the middle of like near Macon, in the middle of summer. It's like 218 degrees. I just want AC. I'm gonna have 8 dudes like sitting in the room. We gotta have a little.
That sounds good, huh?
It's probably still gonna be fucking 57 million degrees in this room with all these dudes hanging out with their meat. I'm like, I just need some AC in this bitch, and just give me just all I want is room, man. You know, like why being a cock? And he just obviously did not want to do it, so we ended up canceling that charge on the card. And he never got charged again, which is, I guess, you know, correct. But yeah, he called the cops, and the cops said, "What's going on?" And then I said, you know, we're straight up with him, like, "Hey, dude, AC doesn't work. He doesn't give us another room. We're gonna go transfer to the hotel." And then hindsight, we ended up just driving to the field because we only had like 4 hours left of the field. So we drove to the field and just slept in the car, which is another terrible fucking decision.
Yeah, that was.
And slept on the roof. Maybe we just all slept in the car. I can't remember.
I slept in the back seat of Stan's car. I remember there was another team had got there before us and left like a tent, like a Papo canopy, and they slept under that other team's stuff. So I'm imagining everyone kind of spread out. It was just like whatever shade we can get.
Just live it up. God, terrible.
It's fun now, but it's like, and we have more stories like this too. It's really crazy. Nothing bad ever really happened. Like that one could have turned out bad. Like that hotel room guy could have shot you.
I mean, yeah, I guess. Give me a refund for
$35. Poof.
Yeah, kill me. God, man.
I remember actually walking up to that hotel room, and like, obviously the glass on those buildings is way thicker than glass on like a house.
Yeah.
There was like a circle piece cut out where it looked like, I mean, this is a shitty hotel. It looked like someone had taken like a hollow pipe and tried to smash through. It was like a perfect like half circle. And I was like walking in going, oh my gosh, this is not good. I am not surviving the night.
Yeah, it looked like one of the rooms from like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Like you go in there, you can sit down, and then the whole back wall like flips open, and Leatherface comes running out with 2 fucking 80-inch chainsaws to chop your legs off and like have sex with your dead corpse. Like that's kind of what I thought was gonna happen.
Yeah,
like,
it was not good.
Awful.
And the funny,
we're in the middle of Macon. I'm like, man, I thought this place was supposed to be like, you know, like normal, like
Macon's kind of a shithole.
Yeah, I never knew that at the time. Yes, it is a full-blown AIDS-infested shithole. Yeah.
Sorry for anybody that lives in Macon.
Yeah, you guys live in a shithole.
The funny part about that actually is that hotel room. I haven't told this whole story, and I won't tonight. But the paintball story where we cleaned the paintballs happened at the hotel, literally right on the other side, like 3 months prior. And that's why Nick was like, we probably shouldn't stay in that hotel room, just in case they kind of remember, like, the paintball players, like, if they saw Springy any gear and were like, oh, no, you guys are the ones that stained all our towels and stuff like that. But
yeah, I'm not sure who ever got charged for that, because I know they charge you for that for sure.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like I said, I didn't have a credit card at the time, so it was always like me like giving somebody cash. So, I mean, I have no
responsibility.
No responsibility. Not my problem. I'll stain all this shit up. Gordon, you put it on your card.
Yeah, I'll take a shit on the pillow. I don't care.
I'll take a shit on the pillow.
It doesn't bother me.
Nick actually, I remember him taking pillows from this last story we were just talking about. He was like, well, fuck it. I'm taking this pillow. And, like, I remember being in his car going, what? That's the hotel pillow. I'm keeping it. I'm like, okay, whatever, dude.
He was a very strange guy. He was a very, very weird fellow, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I remember bumping into him. Like, I remember you telling me this like story about him, like, nested you in like 2 a.m.
Yeah, like a year 2 years ago. I was in Florida. I'm sleeping. My phone goes off. I look. He sends me a picture of like, and he's deleted his Facebook or unfriended me. I think he deleted it. So I don't have the image anymore. Like I can read the conversation, but the image is gone too. And it was like a moon with like a face. And I was like, he goes, check out this, isn't it badass? And granted I hadn't talked to this guy in 4 or 5 years. So I was like, I said, yeah, Nick, it is pretty strange. Are you okay? Was my next, he goes, yeah, I'm just real drunk right now. I'm like, okay. And then we talked for like, texted each other that night for like 30, 40 minutes. So that was it. And I'm like, what was that?
Never talked to him again.
Yeah, no, I mean, I probably
living in the paintball community and being in and out of all the different, like the crowds. it's crazy the people that you like come across or like bump into. Some really strange people play this game. It is. I didn't want to say it's scary, but it's just very wild. The guys you bump into, like, it's funny. I'm not really used to it, but they bring up the fact that my wife and Stro at the time last weekend brung up horse girls. They said they're strange, like horse girls.
Oh, I know what they're talking about now.
I said, what the fuck is a horse girl? And they're like, yeah, like girls that are really big into horses. I'm like, what do you mean? They're like, sometimes they're different. I'm like, I mean, I know people that like horses that are normal people. She's like, no, like the girls you're in high school with that like horses.
And they run down the hallway like a horse?
Yeah. I'm like, what? Now personally, I've never seen that. But I was like, yeah. He's like, they bring a stick horse with them. I'm like, what? And he said, yeah, in school. And they'll be in the class and they'll hiss at you. I'm like, what? What fucking people are you doing that with?
I've never seen anybody bring a horse, but I know what they're talking about. So people that don't know, we all went, not Stro, but me and Wes went to the same high school, but years apart. But me and Wes's wife were only 1 year apart. We probably know the same horse girl. It's probably the same horse girl. I never saw her with a horse though. That must be at Stro in Pensacola.
Stro was, I think he if somebody said something about like one of the little horse heads that have the little stick on them, you know what I mean? And they like walk, like ride through the hallway. Maybe, I don't know. But he said that they would like hiss at you and you'd look at them, or they got mad and they'd like
there was a girl I knew that would hiss at people.
Really?
Yeah, like if you talk to her, she just like what you just did. I'm like, oh shit. Okay, I won't ever talk to you again. All right, I'm out, because I don't like people anyway. So something then I'm like, fuck you too. I probably hissed back. I probably went.
Yeah. God. Yeah. So they brung up that. I'm like, yeah. I mean, sure. They're like, yeah. Now I think about it, paintball people are the same way. Like that guy in Jacksonville. I don't know his name or his side name, but he was like, "What's up, brother?" And I don't know this dude.
You talking about the one that always talks to me?
Yes.
Oh yeah. I need to get him on for an interview.
Say what?
I need to get him on. We gotta have him on the podcast.
What's his? What do you guys call him? What's his name?
I think it's
the side name. Oh, he's like a nickname. What's his nickname? Yeah, he's always like.
It's not his nickname. It's his last name.
Really?
Yeah, that's his last name. So now I don't want to say it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's his last name. I just looked at my Facebook because we were friends on Facebook now. But
yeah,
it was so funny. The first time I ever met him was at the SPL 2019 up in Canton. And I'm like standing there and he just I got Moon Pie in my jersey and he walks up. He's like, "What's up, Moon Pie?" I'm like, "Oh, what's up, man?" Like thinking, fuck, I don't remember names anyway. So have I talked to this guy before? But no, I had never talked to him before. But now every MVPS or every practice and he is there, he will just, Wes knows it. I think Wes doesn't like it.
What's up, Moon Pie? If for some reason like I'm not playing or like I'm like coaching or something, and then if Michael's on the field, he'll be like yelling from the sidelines, "Let's go, Moon Pie, do this thing." I'm like, what is this? He
did at the MVPS BU. Courtney, some of the Jax Reaper guys and your brother played. He saw me on the field, and it was like I'm walking on. I hadn't seen him all day. He goes, "Oh shit, Moon Pie's on the field." And he looked at the other team's pits. He goes, "Y'all about to be fucked." Yeah. And I'm like, because I'm not a loud person. I'm like, "Oh no, bring all that attention to me. We're doing too good for that right now."
Yeah, stop. But every time I see that dude, he's always like, "What's up, Moon Pie?" I'm like, I do not know you, you fucking hillbilly.
Yeah, and you're like, "Why do you know my friend, damn it?"
Get out of here. I know everybody that knows him.
I know everybody that knows him.
Yeah, he knows 6 people. I know them all.
He knows. You're not wrong.
You are not a person by any means.
No, because I don't remember people's names. I don't want people to talk to me. I just like, that's it.
Well, you know that, and like typically, like wherever we go, no matter what, we could be. If me and you went to California, somebody would know me there. They walk up like, "Dude, you remember me?" I'm like, "Yeah, dude." Like I just play along with it. Mm-hmm. But the same thing that you're always like, "Man, like how do they know you?" I'm like, I don't know. Like I don't remember them at all, and I have a terrible fucking memory.
Oh, I do too.
But every time we go somewhere, like especially on the East Coast, people walk up there, dude, what's up? I'm like, what's up, dude? And sometimes I remember, sometimes I don't. But I'll just go along with it. I'm like, oh yeah, dude. But always when they walk away, you're like, who is that fucking guy?
Yes, and especially like if you're with us, we're all trying to figure out who. Okay, if he knows me, he has to know you motherfuckers too. Somewhere we've all talked to him before. Yeah. So someone needs to remember this guy. And we're all like, I don't remember who he is. Like, I barely remember your guys' names, let alone that guy. I always feel bad for like the Division 5 guys when they come up and they're like, "What's up, Michael?" Or like, "What's up, Moonpie?" And I'm like, "Yeah, hey, how you doing, guys?" Like I talked to them, I'm looking at like Can or someone who actually does remember names. I'm like, what's his name? Who is that kid's name? Like, because I don't want to be a jerk. Like, but I come off as a jerk because I'm like just looking at him. Like, yeah, please don't. You don't need to talk to me. Like, you can talk to me when we're playing paintball, but we're just gearing up right now. That's too much people interaction for me today. Like,
yeah, you are not. You're like my wife before 8 o'clock. Like, nobody can talk to her. Nobody can talk to her like pre 8 o'clock. She goes to work, resting bitch face from like 5:30 to 8 o'clock. And everybody's like, "What's wrong with your wife, dude?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" They're like, she's like really mean. I'm like, huh? Like, oh no, that's how she is. You just can't talk to her before like 9. Really.
That is funny.
Yeah, she's just, you can't talk to her at all.
I gotta have my pre-morning rituals, so it takes me a minute to get going.
Yeah, I know your rituals. It's fucking wild, man. But yeah, hers, she has to like warm up, get woken up, like 7:30, 8 o'clock. You know, have a little coffee, and then she's like almost normal throughout the day. But everybody's always like, dude, your wife's like so mean. I'm like, yeah, kind of. But, you know, just don't talk to her before 8 o'clock.
You're like, I'm kind of a dick too, so it really works out.
Yeah, perfect, dude. Imagine made in heaven.
You said coffee. I saw her Instagram or her Snapchat or something today, and I was like, I didn't know Courtney drank coffee. Like, I saw her, and I'm like, I had no idea, like, Courtney drank coffee.
Well, I say that. I feel like I spent all this money on this, like, custom, you see the table, this custom coffee bar that I had, like, custom built. And I'm like, you don't drink coffee. Like, she's like, what? No, I'll drink some coffee. And then I get conned into well, you know, it's a coffee bar. It's mainly meant for decorations. I'm like, yeah, I guess whatever that means. Yeah. Like, I'd be perfectly fine if my living room only had a couch and a TV. Nothing else is needed. I lay down on the couch, turn the TV on, and then I'm not in the living room much at all. As long as the PC room set up, like the gaming room, we're good to go. I need a bed to sleep in, maybe a TV in there. The living room, maybe a TV in there, and then as long as the game room's good, and then I gotta have a garage. That's no, you don't need nothing else.
No, I mean, you're not wrong. I used to like it when I would go over there, and before y'all had the PC setups, with y'all would game in the living room, y'all would have like the two like 55-inch Samsungs, and then you had the one 55-inch Samsung in the middle that was like for football only and paintball tournaments, and then it's like Courtney's gaming whatever here, talking shit to someone. You're on the right, talking shit, playing Madden, whatever at the time, and I'm like, oh, this is like the funniest thing. And like we'd be over there like, and you'd be like talking to me and then play a game, talk to me, play a game, and we'd like building a paintball gun, talk to me, play a game, and I'm like, well, this is wild. Like,
yeah, but it's like not a normal married couple's house.
No, by not any at means. All. I like the new added touch I saw like last few times I was over. The controller you must have thrown way up at the roof, because that is.
Yo, we were just talking about a story. We moved in and we weren't there that long, and she was passed out on the couch right there. The couch.
Oh, the couch below it?
Yes. So here's the weird thing is, you know how I am with Madden, and I'm playing a ranked game, and pretty important game, and I get a fumble and literally kick it off again, and then it's a fumble again. I swear to God, I cannot. I clipped it. It's 3 fumbles in a row, all on kickoff. I swear, back to back, 2 got returned for touchdowns. I literally turned and just threw the controller as hard as I could, but into the couch.
Yeah.
Not thinking it was like 2 a.m, and not thinking she is passed out on that couch, and it slams about 7 inches from her head. Whack! But it bounces off the couch, and I guess I threw it so hard it bounced off the couch and then hit the fucking wall and made an indentation in the wall. Like it's like boom, bah! I'm like, oh my God.
What did she say when she woke up?
Well, she was kind of out of it and didn't notice the hole in the wall, and I just let it rip. I'm like, oh yeah, okay. And then I think she either seen it later that night. I can't really remember if she's seen it later, but she's like, what's that? I'm like, huh? Oh no, wow, that must be from a mosquito.
A mosquito.
He landed on the wall and pushed a hole.
Fucking mosquito.
Yeah, it's a mosquito hawk. Yeah, I don't know how that happened.
That is awesome.
So yeah,
that's funny.
Got in trouble for that.
Oh, I can imagine. Well, I think that's all I had for tonight. I'm getting ready to have to run back on out of the house here. Did you have anything else?
No. We're good, man.
Yeah, that was a little different episode for us. I mean, we didn't really. I don't know. I had thought of it kind of past couple. I mean, it's been taking us like 6. Hey, we can record date? No. Next date? No. Okay. Yes. No. So it's been a pain. But I thank everybody for listening. Again, people are buying the merch. Don't know who the hell you are. Thank you. It really shocks me that people buy pictures with our faces on it or committed T-shirts.
Hashtag 2020 committed.
Whatever. It's really awesome. So thanks. Rate the podcast. Like if you have a topic, let us know. We've said it before. We'll study up or not study up. We might know it already. But
you just wing it. We already know it.
So thanks for listening, and I guess we'll see you on the next one.
See you guys.